Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another monthly market update. And as always, we start off with all property types. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at a glance, last month we had 387 new listings, 169 new sales. The average list price was $682,487. Average sale price was $659,922. The average sale price to list ratio was 96.68. Average days on market was 45.41, and we ended the month with an inventory of 994. So let's jump over and take a look at the market conditions to see what those look like. As always, I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method as well as the sales to new listing ratio, as I find using both measures gives a more accurate version of what's actually going on in the market. With that said, using the monthly supply of inventory method, last month we came in at 6.48, which puts us firmly into buyer's market territory. If we look at the sales to new listing ratio instead, we came in at 44%, which is a neutral market, but is bordering on a buyer's market. Now let's jump over and take a look at the active inventory of last month. For the second month in a row, new listings fell, falling from 419 in June to 387 in July. New sales also fell about 15%-ish, falling from 194 in June down to 169 in July. Expireds actually had a big tick up, coming all the way up to 110. And this is actually the highest expireds to sale ratio that we've had going back all the way till December, which the winter months are always the slowest part. So not usually a measure that I bring up, but that is somewhat significant. Finally, the benchmark price for a home in Kamloops rose $3,000 from $580,600 up to $583,600. Now let's take a look at the end of month inventory. Last month, we ended the month with an inventory of 994, which is the highest amount this time of year going back to 2016 and is about 11.8% higher than the 10-year average for this time of the year of 889. Now let's take a look at new listings. So far, year to date, we've had 2,580 new listings, which is the highest going back to 2016 as well. And currently we are about 4.8% above the 10-year average of 2462. Now, taking a look at units sold. So far year to date, there's been 1,155 units sold, which is the lowest amount in the last 10 years. So we continue to have a bit of an abysmal year when it comes to sales. Currently, we are sitting about 22.69% below the 10-year average of 1,494. Now, let's take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with average sale price. This table is measuring year-over-year changes, so a full year over a full year. And when looked at that way, the sale price is up 6.34% when looked at in totality. Currently, the segments of the market that are doing the best are townhomes, manufactured homes, and half duplexes, with half duplexes being up 23% on average for price. Now, let's take a look at the sales to new list price ratio. All this is a measure of how much properties are selling on average below the list price. So it is a proxy for how much negotiating room you have when you are the buyer. And in July, we came in at 96.68, which is about a 0.6% drop from the month prior. And we are now about middle of the road for the year. The ratio hasn't been this low since February. So we're going back until like the end of winter time area. All that means is that there's slightly more negotiating room when you are the buyer. Now, let's take a look at sales by property type. Once again, this table is measuring full year over full year changes, and when looked at that way, sales are down about 0.75%, with apartments, manufactured homes, half duplexes, and lots all having notable declines in sales. Finally, let's take a look at how long it's taken properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year. So far, year to date, it's taken an average of 47 days for properties to sell, which is about 13% below the 10-year average of 54. If we look at the trailing 12 months instead, we see that in July, average days on market went up, rising from 42 days on average in June to 45 in July. However, currently we are still about 8.4% below the 12-month average of 49. Lastly, let's take a look at days on market by property type. Once again, these are measuring full year over full year, and when looked at that way, most property types are taking longer to sell, with the exception of single-family dwellings, apartments, and half duplexes. Single-family dwellings are only down about 1% or 1 day, whereas apartments and half duplexes are selling about 26% faster than they were the year prior. So, to summarize, if we take a look at the market as a whole, we are moving into a buyer-ish market. Inventory is building and sales continue to be fairly abysmal. As far as how long it's taking properties to sell, for the properties that are selling, they do tend to move quite quickly, but with more inventory means more options, which means that a lot are starting to sit. And I do think that that's starting to, that's showing up in the expired listings, which is why we have a higher sale to expired than we have any time since the winter, which is obviously the low point in the market. As far as prices go, that will depend on each property type. And if you're interested in learning more about that, please make sure to check out my future market updates, which will be coming out in the upcoming weeks. As always, I hope that you're continuing to get value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And as always, if you feel like maybe something wasn't thoroughly explained, or maybe you want something added to these market updates, please feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.